Good morning. I'm Dr. Lorianne Reinhardt, Director of Lay Ministry Formation at the Diocese and Director of Religious Education at Our Lady of the Snows Parish. Just as we hear on Sundays how the gospel relates to our lives, there are other stories from the Bible that are timeless and can bring meaning and comfort to life today. I think the story of the Babylonian exile is one of those timeless stories. It's a great story for us to reflect on during hard or challenging times. Today and tomorrow, I'm going to give you some of the basics of the story. And then each day after that, I'll give you a verse or a phrase from scriptures written either during or after the Babylonian exile. Exile. In these days of the coronavirus, many of us are in a kind of exile. It's a way to look at our lives at what is not normal. So maybe it's financial exile that you're feeling. You had a great budget and you knew how you're going to pay the rent and the mortgage and how much you had for groceries and how much you had left to play with at the end of each month. And now maybe you don't have that paycheck anymore, or you have less of a paycheck. And so it's an exile from what was your normal financial world. Perhaps it's a social exile. There seem to be two kinds of social exiles going on right now. One are the people who are stuck at home with either by themselves or maybe with one other person. And that's it. Nobody even comes 6 feet away, much less closer than that. If you're by yourself, maybe you haven't even been touched for a couple of weeks. That's its own kind of exile, and that is so painful. But I've also been hearing about the other kind of exile, the other kind of social exile where people can't escape. People are working from home, the kids are learning from home, and you can't even get an hour to yourself. And so your social life is completely upended, and you're feeling, what is this new normal? There's exile from work. The church talks a lot about the dignity of work, and it's not just getting a paycheck. All that comes with working with other people, including people that maybe you'd never have as friends, but you interact with them and they stretch you and they challenge you, and that's a good thing. And you've lost that right now. Even if you're just working from home, it's not the same. It's not the familiar routine and situation that you grew and thrived perhaps on. Then there's the church exile. And there's going to be a couple of days when we talk a lot about that, because the people going into the Babylonian exile certainly had a whole new understanding of faith and their relationship with God. So we'll spend a little bit of time on the messages that they learned in the future and how that relates to our own lives. And there may be another kind of exile that you're thinking of that I haven't listed. But when we leave our normal and go into some place or situation that is so unfamiliar to us, think of it as your own kind of Babylonian exile. When we look at our lives through the lens of exile, then we can connect our experiences back to the experiences of our ancestors in faith. And we can see how Bible passages from the exilic time might comfort and inspire us today. Over the next couple of weeks, I'll be actually looking at a total of 14 Bible passages. But for tomorrow, look ahead. Look at Psalm 137, verses 1 through 4. You'll see right away that it's the Babylonian exile. And tomorrow I'll give you details on what the Babylonian exile actually was, who it affected, why it happened, and again we'll go back and look at Psalm 137, verses 1 through 4. See you tomorrow.